Are you tired of not remembering potion recipes? Are you done with having to wait for your potions to finish? Would you like everything to go so much easier, smoother and better? Well then, the fully automated brewing system 2.0 is exactly what you need. Check it out now. Also available as a manual setup for easy installation wherever you are. Yeah, alright, so that had to be done. but yeah, that was that. Other than that, hello everybody and welcome to the fully automated brewing stand system 2.0. 2.0, just because I already did one a little while ago, might have been half a year or something like that. But yeah, that's the thing. I'm actually very proud of it because I've made a lot of changes compared to the previous kind of automated brewing system I did, and it's so much better. I'm telling you, it's like a whole new thing, and yeah, overall just not in any way comparable anymore, and it's so much better. I love the redstone behind it. It's just overall great. And before we're taking a look at the fully automated portion of this, we are going to take a look at the non-fully automated portion of it, which is the manual version. So I just showed you that in the little clip. Basically what you're doing is you take your potions, if you have them, and then you just press a button and it's gonna dispense your water bottles, and it's also gonna put in the ingredients, and that is it. So you just have to press a button and then you get your potions. That's all you have to do. As very compact, very simple to build, and we are actually going to build that really quick. Right over here, you only need a 2x3 space on the floor, so it's 3 blocks wide, 2 blocks deep, and 4 blocks tall. Excluding that little button right there, which would make it 3 blocks deep, but yeah, really that is not that much of an importance. So let's just start. Basically you put down your brewing stand like this, then you put down your droppers facing into the middle, just like so. Then you put a hopper onto the brewing stand, then put 2 more blocks right here, put 2 droppers facing downwards, place redstone dust on those droppers right here, and put your button on, and that's it. So now you can go ahead and fill the lower droppers with water bottles, and you fill the upper droppers right here, those 3, and the very topmost dropper, not this one, you don't want to fill this one here, but fill those 3 down here and the top one with all of your ingredients. Those can be from 1 to 4, you can choose whatever you want. And then you want to press this button and see what happens. Now we have the sugar in place first, but we want to have the nether wart go with the nether wart. So we just put the sugar where the nether wart was and put the nether wart where the sugar was. And yeah, then what you do is we just remove the hopper and replace it. You have to do that every time you switch any items. Then you press it again, and now the nether wart should go in first. There we go. And we have the sugar, then the redstone, and the gunpowder. So that's just fine. So what you're doing is you just randomly put in all the items, and I mean the ingredients, and then you just switch them around so that they're in the correct order, and every time you do that you want to remove the hopper and replace it. So that is just very quickly and simply how you create those manual versions. So yeah, that's just that. If you want to use those, you can just put them into like your starter base or wherever you are in in the base. You can just put that in some wall, you know, and you can always have a little potion station where you can grab your stuff and always brew a new one. So I think that looks quite neat. You can decorate it very nicely, and I think I like it very much. So yeah, you can just put that wherever you want. Alright, that much about the manual part. Okay, now on to the real deal. This is the fully automated portion of it. So we're taking those manual units and we're putting them into here, and we're hooking them up to a centralized control circuit, which fires them all simultaneously. Sorry for my bad English this evening. And yeah, it just automatically brews all your potions, and it will automatically take your potions from the brewing stand through the hopper into the chest, so you can just take them out at any time, and there should always be some waiting for you. So the way you start this machine is by just pulling this lever. It says auto brewing only start if finished, all finished. That means basically that you may only activate this when all the brewing procedures, whatever, have finished, so that all the brewing stands have their finished potions in it, and all ingredients have gone through there. And that has one important reason, and that is if you would activate it when there is still some brewing going on, then you would add just more ingredients to the already ongoing brewing cycle, and that obviously would not work, except if it's like if it had just started. But even then, ingredients are lost, and ingredients might get stuck in the hopper and all that kind of stuff you don't want. So if you have just deactivated an auto brewing circle, whatever, an auto brewing what do you call that? Like if you just deactivate the auto brewing, and some potions are still brewing from the previous auto brewing session, then you shouldn't activate it. Same if you press this button here, and if you basically manually activate an individual cell, because that you can do with those buttons up there. If you press them, you can just fill some items into the brewing stand, and it'll brew your potion without having to activate the whole system. That's what those buttons are for. Can tell you that already. That's all they are doing. But now let's just hit this this lever right here, and we should see. There we go. This brewing stand here filling up, and we can also see the others not filling up, and that is or that shows perfectly that each of the cells work individually from each other. So there's an detection mechanism which will detect if there are potions filled up all the way to the hopper. So you can see this chest is filled, and the hopper also has some potions in it already. So in this case, this brewing station or this brewing unit is deactivated, and it will not brew any more potions until you make space in the chest and make space for the hopper potions to be emptied into there. So until that happens, this unit won't be brewing any more potions. So that's just a auto stop system, which prevents items from clogging up in hoppers, and yeah, from preventing the machine from being able to continue brewing potions when you take the items out. So right here we can see that there yeah, I think this is the last item that is going in there. Yep, this is the last item, and we should see the potions getting taken out now. There we go, and they've went into the hopper right there, and now a new brewing cycle has started. That's the word I was searching for, cycle. There we go. Now a new brewing cycle has started. You can see the auto brewing is still on, but none of the brewing units actually has any potions in it, and that is because, or any water bottles in it, and that's because all the hoppers are filled all the way through. So now the auto stop mechanism has been activated. Has been activated for all of the units. So why don't we take a look back behind the scenes where all the magic goes on. Yes, that is the system, and you can already see, for all of you redstone semi-experts and experts and everybody having to do redstone, and probably everybody that doesn't even have to do with redstone, that this design here is completely tileable. So you can just add as many, and literally speaking, as many of those units in a row. You can have them go indefinitely until the limit of the world. You can have them go around corners like we have here. You have them go upwards, downwards. You can have them go wherever the hell you want, literally speaking. And yeah, that's how this works. And once you've understood the principle, you can just continue the whole thing as often as you want. And yeah, that's how that part works. And then we also have this control circuit right here, and that is what controls the auto brewing, which basically starts a brewing cycle, or can actually tell when a brewing cycle starts, when one is finished, and which opens the hoppers or unlocks the hoppers for items to be drawn out, and then locks them again so that during the brewing cycles no items are sucked from the brewing stand, and which also activates, of course, the top parts of the brewing units right there, which will dispense the items. So that's what this circuit right there is for. So I'm gonna give you a quick run through how every segment works. So right here you can see in action the heart basically of the auto brewing system, and that is the hopper clock. So we have exactly 64 and 42 items in here, and those 64 and 42 items are just about enough for, or the time it takes for them to go back in one hopper and then all the way back into the other hopper. That time is exactly, or roughly, I should rather say, 1 minute and 25 seconds, something like that. And that is the time it takes for all the potions to be brewed and them to be taken out of the brewing stand. And also, I think, a new brewing cycle to be started, like items being dispensed. So that all is controlled by this clock. It can tell when a brewing cycle is starting and when it is finished. And it does that, or it tells that to the system with this block of redstone here. So it'll go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and every 1 minute and 25 seconds it will be pushed from this side over to here. And when it's being pushed over here, it will activate this redstone signal right here, which it currently does, and that will deactivate this torch, which would previously be on. Maybe we can wait. Now I should switch. There we go. So if the redstone block now comes back, it will deactivate this torch, and that will unlock all the hoppers along the way here. So they're all connected to this redstone line there. It continues below them using those redstone repeaters, and it currently locks them all, but when the block switches over, it unlocks, or it unpowers this torch here, unpowering all of this redstone down there, and that will unlock all the hoppers in order for them to take out the potions from the brewing stand. But as soon as this repeater chain has been activated, it will again power this this whole redstone wire down here again, so that the hoppers are locked again. You just saw it for a split second, they were off, and then again they were activated because now the repeater line is activated. So that is how they're shortly activated, but then they're deactivated again, the hoppers. And as soon as they've been deactivated, this signal comes up here, goes through this monostable circuit, which makes it a 2-tick signal, and that will unpower this torch here for 2 ticks, and that will deactivate this entire line of redstone up here, and that will deactivate this piece of redstone here, which will activate this torch right here, which will then activate this line of redstone, which will then activate all the droppers in there. Yeah, that's a lot of activating, but that's how the chain goes. So you might have noticed as well that this unit looks a little bit different than what we see over there. That's because we have to use a bit of a different setup right here, because otherwise we couldn't use the auto brewing and the buttons down here. So that is a little flaw with the manual design. If you just hooked up a signal or a redstone wire to those droppers, then the items would go in the wrong order, and if you switched them to the correct order, then the manual thing wouldn't work anymore. So only with this kind of setup, with those 2 pistons and 2 redstone blocks, it can work, which is a little more redstone expensive, but I think it's very cool to also have a manual way to activate it, and I think it looks very nice as well, and works just perfectly fine and doesn't rely on any glitches and that kind of stuff, which this over there kinda does. So there's only one thing left to explain. Well, I actually jumped that one hole. That is how the auto stop works, and that is actually very simple. We just have the hopper here, and as soon as there are items in there, this hopper will, or this comparator, sorry, this comparator will activate. The signal goes all the way up here, and powers this torch, and powers this torch right here. And as I said before, when the signal from the auto brewing circuit comes up here, it will deactivate all of this redstone there, same as with those redstone dusts right there, and that would theoretically activate this torch. But since this torch still powers the redstone dust, it doesn't matter if those redstone repeaters or this redstone line turns off. This redstone dust here will still stay on, and this torch will never turn on, and thus the thing won't be activated. So that is how the auto stop mechanism works, and yeah, it just works independently for each and every single unit. So that, I think, is a very big advantage of the system. I like it very much, and I think it should have just been activated. Maybe we missed it. Yeah, it should have just been activated. Anyway, you might have noticed those chests right here, and those are just there to extend the water storage, because we only have 9 slots for water bottles in the bottom droppers, and using those chests and hoppers we can expand that storage by a lot. So there's only one thing left now. This thing I forgot about. This is basically a circuit that will deactivate the hopper clock. So right now it's being powered by this lever right there. So let's just put that over here so we can see what will happen. So this redstone wire is powered, and it powers all those repeaters, and also powers those pistons, which are now all extended. The redstone block is being held down, and this block back here as well. But now if we deactivate the lever, it will first of all pull up this block, and that will deactivate the redstone dust. If I could get back there, Jesus. We'll deactivate this redstone dust back there, and that will retract this piston here, and that will allow this piston here to push the redstone block over here if it isn't already over here. So if it is in the state it is right now, it doesn't matter, but if the redstone block was over here on this spot like it is right now, then this piston here would retract, pull the redstone block into this position right underneath this piston, which will then pull the redstone block up and also power this redstone dust here, which will continuously lock this hopper here, allowing this hopper to empty all of its content into this hopper, and there it will just stay until you activate the system again. And if you activate the system again, then the cool thing is that it will automatically start putting the items in this direction, and that will also push the redstone block over here, and that will then immediately start the auto brewing again. So a lot of talking. Let's just deactivate it. There we go. First of all, this gets pulled up, then this gets pulled up. Now all of those items are going into this hopper. It can take a little while, sometimes goes faster, sometimes goes quick, goes not as quick. And you can see as soon as all the items from here have gone over here, this thing retracts and the thing is reset. Now let's quickly get rid of this lever there, and let's once more take out those items. And now if we activate it, as said, this thing will be immediately filled up. There we go. So that is cool, so you don't have to wait for all of them to get activated, like have to wait for the items to go in the correct hopper or anything like that. It will always start immediately. So I think that sums up the explanation of the whole thing. So now before we start building, there's one thing I have to admit, and that is that those 3 potions here cannot be brewed by neither the fully automated nor the manual system. And those are the splash potions of invisibility extended, slowness extended, and harming 2. Only the splash potions I'm talking about. Like, you can just get a regular invisibility extended, but you can't get any of the splash potions because they all need 5 ingredients. And that you can't do because you only have the top 3 droppers right there, and then the top one, which is maximized, or limited I should say, to 4 ingredients. So I would say let's start building now. Okay, now on to the building of the auto brewing setup. So the first thing you want to do when you start the build is to decide where you want to have your auto brewing control circuit, which is this thing right here. So in the setup over there, we have it on the very left, so we would build our control circuit right there with the lever on there and then continue the thing. But if you want, for some reason, to build your control circuit at the very right of your whole setup, like right over there, and then continue your brewing units to the left. Then you can also do that, but you will have to follow the same steps that I'm gonna be doing right now, where I go to the right, but you're gonna go to the left. Just do everything exactly mirrored if you want to go the different directions. So, as said, we're gonna start with the control circuit, and that is right here. So you will always need those 3 wide little gaps, and then in between you can put some pillars. And then I've just covered up with stairs up there, so they're just put one over there, so we have 2 high pillars, then 1 block towards us and 1 block above is those stairs, then another set of blocks above them, and then you come out another block and put another set of blocks all the way around, and then put another set of blocks at the very top, another 1 block towards us. I just used some stairs to make it a little better looking, and yeah, that's just needed because you're going to have some wire up here, gonna have some more stuff back there. So either you just go ahead and put your ceiling right here, then there's no problem. You could even put it right here, although that wouldn't, that would be too deep, but you could put your ceiling right here, something like that. But I think this looks very nice as a big open hall, and then you can just put your ceiling at this height, just something like that. I think that looks pretty cool. So you can totally decide that by your own imagination. So the first thing you want to do is fill up the first gap. Just gonna fill it up with standard blocks. Then you're going to put a lever up here, and you can already go ahead and put your buttons on the central blocks up above the units there. And one important thing to note is that here you will leave this open. That is important. Okay, and then you place a lamp right there. There you go. This is the basic interface setup of the control circuit. Now what you want to do is come over here and place a chest right there. Just break that out, put that there. Then you want to place a hopper facing into that chest and put your brewing stand onto that. So that is how you start your brewing unit. So we'll place some more droppers over there, and then you're gonna come over here and place a block there in order to place those droppers, just like so. And then you place your standard blocks back there, put down your more droppers, put down a hopper, and you can put your item frame where you're gonna put in your potion afterwards so they can see what you're dealing with. So that is how you set up each and every brewing cell, so you can continue that up for all of them. So again, just punch out this block, place a chest right there, and then put a hopper into that, place a brewing stand on top of that, place your 6 hoppers around that, then come up here, place 2 blocks, 2 downwards facing droppers right there, and a hopper in there. And then you want to punch out those 2 blocks again, and come down here, place your item frame. That's it. And there's one thing I have to mention, and that is that you can always place another chest right there. That you can always do. So they have a double chest right there, and you can even go ahead and just place another hopper right there, which will take out the items from the chest right here, and then you can bring it to another bigger storage system, whatever you want. You can have them go wherever you desire, but you will still need this setup with a hopper right here. That is necessary. Okay, so let me quickly do that for those 2 cells as well. Okay, now on to the control circuit. So what you want to do to start off with that is to power your lever right there, and then you want to place 2 blocks right next or to the right, brewing from the back side here of this lamp, and then you want to place 4 redstone dust like so. Put a repeater in this empty block right there, or on top of that empty block there. Have that face into a block with a sticky piston facing downwards underneath it, which pushes and pulls this block right here. Then you have another block right here and 2 half slabs right in front here, and another block diagonally like this. Put a repeater on 4 ticks of delay right here, and redstone dust on top of those blocks. And you come around here and place a sticky piston, again facing downwards with a redstone block on it. Sorry. Then you can continue your floor right here, just like so. Put that out another 2 blocks maybe. Okay, there we go. Now what you can do is you come around and place a block right next to the redstone block, and place a hopper facing into that block, and then place another block, another hopper facing into the other hopper where that block used to be. Then on either ends of the hoppers, place comparators facing out of them, which then face into those 2 blocks, and they have a redstone dust right next to them, which will power the sticky pistons right here. Okay, now you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna place 64 and 42 items in one of those hoppers, doesn't matter where you put them, and you want to place redstone dust right there, just like so, and that should go back and forth, and then it should fix itself automatically when we restart our system afterwards. Okay, now you're gonna place 2 blocks here, and you will place redstone dust onto all of this here, and you can block the redstone signal off here so that we have this. Place more blocks all along here, put a redstone torch on this block here, then you want to place 3 repeaters on 4 ticks of delay and 1 repeater with 3 ticks of delay, all facing out of this block here, that direction, and you're gonna place redstone dust all the way along here. Then you can remove those 2 blocks, place a block in front of the last repeater, and leave 1 block gap, and place 2 more blocks there, and you're gonna connect those 2 redstone signals, just like so. Okay, now we can already test if we can deactivate the system. There we go, works just fine, and this one should be locked, and it transfers all of its items from there into this hopper right here, and it should then stop. There we go. Okay, yeah, that seems to be working just fine. Okay, now we will start to set up each and every one of the brewing cells, and as I said before, those are completely stackable, so they're all going to be the exact same. So I'm only going to show it to you on one example, and you can just repeat the other ones, just like the one here. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is we're going to place a total of 5 hoppers, 1 facing into that lower middle dropper there, then 2 facing into the side droppers, so they're all facing into their respective droppers, and then you can place a chest, a trap chest, and another chest. So this is just because the dispenser or the dropper, it can only hold 9 water bottles at a time, so after 9 potion brewing cycles the thing will be empty, which isn't really that much. So by doing this you can add up the entire storage space by a lot. You can just fill up those chests completely, and that's gonna reach for a while, and also those hoppers are gonna be filled. You can even extend them to just full chests, you know, like that, and you could even hook it up to a centralized system where you just dump all of your water bottles into a chest, and then it would just come all the way around into each of those hoppers. So just take a look over here. You could just have a line of hoppers go all the way along the bottom there. That would be, or along the top of those hoppers, would be no problem. So that is just so that you can yeah, just have it run for longer and don't have to refill it all the time. Okay, there we go. So now what you want to do is place redstone dust on those hoppers right there, and in case you don't want to use hoppers here, then it would just place a block right there and put the redstone dust on top of that. But I strongly should suggest that you do use hoppers and chests, because I said it's gonna be out of bottles very soon. So then you're gonna place redstone dust on top of the top dropper, another one right next to it, and that will face into a block right here. And on either sides of this block you will place sticky pistons facing downwards with redstone blocks on them. I'm very sorry, I have trouble speaking today. So just do something like this, and you can obviously see that this is a lot different to the manual design over there. That is because if we use the standard manual design and then hooked it up to an auto brewing system, then the ingredients are going to go in the wrong order. So this is a little modification that is a little more expensive than the manual version, but you'll have to do this in order for things to work properly. But you can trust me, it is the best way to do it. Okay, so I added these pistons, hoppers, and chests and all of that to all of the units now, so that's what it should look like. So then we're gonna continue right up here where the redstone wire is, and we're gonna place a block with a 1 block gap between redstone wire and itself, and you're gonna attach a a redstone torch right onto that block. And you're gonna do that for all of those. So just go all the way along the line, like so, all the way across, and then you will go ahead and place redstone dust on top of those blocks where the torches are attached to, and then you put blocks right next to this redstone dust. When you go around corners, just again place it right next to it. It works just like so. Just put it in the very corner, and then you place repeaters facing into those just placed blocks. And then you want to place not redstone blocks, but regular blocks above those redstone dusts right there, and that is in order to cut off the redstone wire, which is gonna go along the top here. So in order to make them not connect to each other, we're just cutting them off right there. Put redstone wire in between all that, and you don't need it on the last one because you don't need any wire right there, so just leave that out if you want. And yeah, that is basically the redstone line, which is powering all of the brewing units each brewing cycle. And yeah, you can just continue this to whatever you want. You can hook up as many of them in a row as you possibly could. So yeah, that is the big advantage of this design. And then we just need to hook up the signal to this repeater out there, and that we do by bringing it up from back here. Just place 3 blocks going up diagonally from this one back there. Place redstone dust on top of all of them, and then you want to place a block just like so, and you want to place a half slab, a top half slab, just like that. Once you've placed the half slab right there, which is diagonally to this block there, you can place a redstone dust on top of this and a sticky piston right here with a block on top. And after that, you place a repeater on 2 ticks of delay facing into a block with a torch on the side of it, and that comes over here, and you're gonna cut off the signal right there, and you're gonna place 2 redstone dust there, and that should unpower all of the torches. So if it does that, you have successfully done this part. Okay, the next step is to hook up the control circuit for the hoppers down here. So I'm just gonna remove those blocks. Oh, not that one. I'm just gonna remove those blocks back here, and so we can see them. So what you should do is rip out all of those blocks going along the bottom here, because we're going to place a redstone wire right there. So you should just take those out so that the hoppers are free, so that you can just run your redstone signal through there. And you come around to the first hopper, just like so. Then just continue that all the way around, all the way to the last hopper. And then just rip out the blocks right underneath the hoppers, and you're gonna place them 1 block deeper, just like so. Have them just go 1 down, or don't need it for the last one. And then you can go ahead and place redstone wire all the way on top of those blocks, and then you're gonna place repeaters in those lower blocks facing the direction of the redstone line, so that they can continue the signal. And that is basically how we bring the signal from this little metastable circuit here to each and every of the hoppers. Okay, so now there's only one thing left to do, and that is the auto stop mechanism, which automatically stops the brewing for the individual unit if the chest and hopper are full. Okay, so in order to do that, you come down and place a block right next to this repeater down there, so they can place a comparator facing out of the hopper right there. Place another repeater right here, and that's gonna face into a block, and then you just bring the signal up using a simple half slab pattern. So just place top half slabs alternating like this all the way up to here. Place another one right there, so there you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Another block up and another block up, and then you bring this branch over here. Oh, sorry, that was one block too high. Needs to go one block deeper, just like so. There we go. So we have 5 blocks all the way along here. Place a torch, which should now be right above this redstone dust there, and place redstone all above this. And now you're gonna just replace this corner, or not this corner piece, but this piece right here, with a redstone torch. And now you should have successfully unlit this torch here. And if we put some items in here, then this should all turn on, and it should technically turn on this torch right there. So just continue that for all of the other cells, and then you're pretty much done. Okay, so now it's time to fill in the ingredients into your machine. So I already filled up the chests with water bottles, so they should now have all reached the bottom 3 droppers. We can quickly check that. There we go, they're all filled just fine. Okay, now what you want to do is you will have to fill up all of your droppers with ingredients, as I just said. So I advise you to knock out that block right here, and maybe even that one right there. Just place a block right there so that you can access all of the ingredient droppers quickly and easily. So as we did with a manual farm, with a manual setup, just put in your ingredients randomly in the top 3 droppers and the very top one. So let's just do that, and then you hit the manual button up there, and now you check what has happened, and we can see that the gunpowder went in first, but we want that in place of the nether wart, so we switch it out with the nether wart. Take the nether wart and the gunpowder, nether wart up there, gunpowder in there. Take out all of the items, take your hopper, remove it, replace it, press the button, and now nether wart goes in first, but then gunpowder in second place. We don't want that. We want you want it to be switched with the gas tier, so we take out all of the stuff, take gunpowder, switch it with the gas tier, put that in there, then remove and replace your hopper, press it again, nether wart goes in first, then that, and then that, and that, which is still not perfect. We want to switch the gunpowder with the redstone, so just go ahead and do that. So it should be back there. There we go. Put that there, that in there. Fill all the other stuff in as well. Replace your hopper, and now you should be fine. Nether wart goes in first, then that, then that. Okay, that's just what we want. So that should successfully brew the potion. Now you can just cover things up again. There we go. And you want to do that for each and every one of those, and then you're pretty much finished. Okay, so now that that is all done, you can, or after you have filled up all of your droppers using the method I just showed you, you can hit a first test run, and it should fill up the things. There you go, that went just fine, and some water bottles have already went in here, so that seems to be working as well. And yeah, if that works for all of them, and if they successfully get pulled out again the correct time, then you should be good. One important thing you might want to check out, man, it's raining again, is that you still have exactly 64 and 42 items in there, because it can happen a lot during the building process that some items fall into the hoppers. So you want to check that again to make sure that there are still 64 and 42 items in there. And yeah, then you can go ahead, put up your sign, there we go. Only start auto brewing if all potions are finished. Yeah, that is very important. I told you that at the beginning. If you finish or if you start the auto brewing before all of the potions have finished brewing, then you wanna know you are going to add more ingredients into the hopper that's just gonna clog up in there, and that's not gonna be nice. So avoid that from happening. But other than that, this system should be running just fine. We should quickly wait for this potion to finish right there. Should just add the gunpowder, then we can see if everything is working just fine. The other ones I haven't filled yet because, yeah, that's not necessary. But other than that, I very much thank you for watching. Please make sure to leave a like on this video because it was a lot of work to do, and apparently it seemed to have worked. Yeah, there we go. Have exactly what we want. Yeah, as I was saying, it was a lot of work to produce this video, and yeah, it was also a lot of work to invent this entire machine right here. I've put a lot of thought into it, that it is the most intuitive, easy, and practical to use, and yeah, I think it turned out pretty well. So again, please leave a like if you enjoyed it, which I hope you did, and if you have questions, please ask them. I always like to answer them. Critical questions, whatever, just put them in the comments, and hold back with any of those rubbish new YouTube comment features. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, other than that, thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again another time. So, until then, bye-bye.